Yes, hello, you're watching the Sunday Politics for Yorkshire, Lincolnshire and the North Midlands. Coming up today, the high cost of help at home. We ask who's going to foot the bill and can we avoid a crisis in the care sector? Happen to most of us. We'll get old, of course, and many of us will eventually need care. Now, most people prefer to stay in their own homes, but who will foot the bill? Well, for most people, it's their local council, who after years of austerity are worried about further cuts in the next round of budgets. Now, the companies who provide the care say they're not getting paid enough, and some are pulling out of council contracts. So what's the answer? Len Tingle reports.
A knock at the door that makes life so much better for Brian Broughton. The 80-year-old former scaffolder was paralysed from the waist down after an industrial accident 25 years ago.
Morning, Brian.
Morning, Brian.
Morning. You all right?
Yeah, just a moment.
Now living alone in his Wakefield bungalow, he needs help so he can do the most basic things that people usually take for granted.
When I can't get a shower, which I can't at the moment, I get a bed bath, which is and clean clothes on every time. Have a bath, right? A bed bath. And everything's alright, it's always been good.
Right, I'm just going to put my apron on and I can empty your leg bag, alright?
Okay.
Well, and my gloves as well.
Amanda Leithwaite is a carer with a private agency contracted to the local council. Brian is one of as many as 10 clients she'll visit every day. The work can be physically demanding and carers provide increasingly complex services. But wages are still at the minimum rate of £7.20 an hour. The result, turnover of staff leaving the job is high, retention low, and the carers know exactly why that is.
Basically wages, pay rates, hours. It's quite stressful. You are dealing with people's lives and it is quite an important job.
We welcome the national living wage, but all that means is put everyone on the same level. We need to be paying care staff who do a fantastic job at more than £7.20, but we're stuck in that cycle now. How can we do it? At the end of the day, it means the public, the taxpayer, whatever it is, locally or nationally, needs to pay more.
Ultimately, local authorities are responsible for the fees, and the industry has surveyed them to find out exactly how much they're paying. The agencies say that providing care in people's homes in streets like this isn't cheap. They have to provide training for their staff. They have to provide travel time for their staff, and they also have to pay them. They reckon that in order to do that and make a profit, they ought to be paid the equivalent of £16.70 an hour. But according to this latest survey, local authorities pay them £14.66. And across Yorkshire and the Humber, it's even lower than that, £14.11 an hour.
Well, we all know that the country's been having to live within its means over the last few years, and what we've tried to do is put as much money as possible into adult social care. So we've protected budgets where we can, we've put more money into prevention, and we have put more money into care fees. But at the end of the day, we only have a limited pot of money available to fund services.
All this creates a daily struggle for agencies trying to keep up with increasing demand, but also to recruit and retain the right calibre of staff.
Recruitment, it's a full-time job in itself. And then to retain the staff that you actually recruit, again, that's another full-time job in itself. You know, the way that these girls are paid, they're paid minimum wage. Quite fortunate that our girls are paid travel time and mileage as well. But how can you encourage people to come and stay at your company to work for minimum wage for the amount of responsibility that they have within their job?
This is clearly an intimate service. It requires people with compassion and patience. Getting the right calibre of people and more of them is really going to be very important, because one thing we do know, the population is ageing. So this sort of service in the home is going to be needed more and more. Len Tingle with that report.